Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And we always love highlighting the 2025 Strobel Volunteer Award recipients. That's why we're honored to have with us in the category of older adult volunteers, the winner, Jim Sybert. Jim, how are you doing?
Jeremy, I'm great. Thank you.
Well, you have a powerful story of service indeed, and it's tied especially to Morning Pointe of Brentwood. We'll talk all about that. But let's start out for you personally. Even as a child growing up, where did the idea of community service, of volunteerism, where was that modeled? How did that get ingrained in you?
Well, it was ingrained in me by my parents. They always stressed that we needed to do something to help those who may be having a problem or who are less fortunate than we were. So it just started from early childhood and all the way up through.
Give us a little bit of your personal background in terms of just where you grew up, where you live, a little bit of your career, just so we get to know you a little bit better.
Jeremy, I was born and raised in Pennsylvania and went to college at West Virginia University. Stayed in West Virginia for 5 years, worked on a graduate degree. From there, I started working my career in Pittsburgh and basically the insurance industry in risk management, and ultimately was involved in risk management consulting. So I started in Pittsburgh, migrated to Buffalo, from Buffalo to Dallas, Texas to Atlanta, Atlanta to Nashville, and that's the last stop on the railroad.
When you look at those different experiences, those different cities and cultures, what has really stood out to you in Middle Tennessee in terms of, the hospitality, Southern charm, community service? What are some things that have resonated for you in your heart for Middle Tennessee?
Well, I just absolutely loved Middle Tennessee from the very moment that I chose to come here. I came here for a job and decided that I was going to stay. So I've been here now for 28 years. I've lived here longer than I've lived any other place in my career. So I love the people. I just love the way things are done here. I love the way that people are generally quite willing to step in and to help. So it's just a great place to be, in my opinion.
Well, let's dive into the story tied to the 2025 Strobel Volunteer Awards. It's tied to Hands on Nashville, United Way of Middle Tennessee. You're, as I mentioned, the Older Adult Volunteer Award recipient, and it's tied to over 12,000 hours of service with Morning Pointe of Brentwood. So let's start out. Give us a little background on Morning Pointe of Brentwood, and then we'll talk about how you got started volunteering there, and then we'll talk about some of those stories of impact.
Well, Morning Pointe of Brentwood is an assisted living facility. They also have a memory care unit, but I'm primarily involved in the assisted living facility. I absolutely think that they do a wonderful job. They are very, very responsive and helpful with people, and I have always really liked that about them.
How did you first get associated with them? How did you find out about them? How did you start volunteering?
I had a special friend who had a stroke, and as a result had to find an assisted living facility. And her daughter and I evaluated 2 or 3 of them and felt that Morning Pointe was far and away the place for her to be. So she went in there, and unfortunately, 2 years later, almost exactly 2 years later, she died. And by that point in time, I had gotten to know Morning Pointe quite well. I had gotten to know the management team, a lot of the staff, and I got to know quite a number of the residents. So Morning Pointe brought several residents to her funeral. And the residents gathered around me at the funeral and asked me if I would continue to come back. And I was quite shaken by that. I was quite taken by that. And I agreed to do so. And I've been doing it ever since.
So at this point, I mean, you're averaging 6 days a week. Talk about just how that kind of builds in for you, the love. I mean, obviously it goes both ways. You're known as Saint Jim. So, I mean, talk about, what you're able to put out there in terms of the energy, but obviously then what that means to you. Because as you mentioned, at first kind of shaken and stirred, but now all of a sudden they become probably like family to you.
They are my family. I refer to them as my Brentwood family. I get so much more than I'm able to give from interacting with these people. This is a fascinating group of people. And there have been a number of people over the years who have moved through, but they all have a story. And when you can sit and talk with them a little bit, the stories are absolutely impressive. And I just enjoy doing that. They enjoy having somebody who's willing to listen. So it just sort of works. But as I said a moment ago, I get far more than I'm able to give.
Give us an idea of some of the things that you do, because obviously the storytelling aspect of being there, listening, sharing, that's one piece of it. What are some of the other things that you have a chance to do throughout the different days?
I try to do whatever is needed to respond to them. But mainly what I do is try and interact with them. I'll play word games. I'll do any number of things to help them and to help make things a little bit easier for them. I serve drinks at dinner. And I recently, because of some family commitments, was gone for a period of time. And I've got them telling me now that instead of 6 days a week, I need to be there 7 to make up for the time I miss. So I kind of enjoy that. But sometimes they'll come to me and they'll ask me if I can, maybe because there's an issue, can I help them get to a doctor's appointment? Can I go pick up a prescription? Can I get a watch fixed? Can I do this or can I do that? And the answer always is, well, yes, I'll try. I'll probably be able to do it, but if I can't, it won't be from lack of trying. So whatever they ask, I try and respond. I particularly like to play Scrabble with several of the people. And we have a lot of very, very sharp people over there. In the time that I've been there have been doctors and engineers, and I think we had a pharmacist. There have been many school teachers. So there are a lot of very, very sharp people. And
so that's a lot of challenge for Scrabble.
and sometimes I'll deliberately make a mistake just to see if they'll catch me, and they almost always do.
Nice. Talk about Christmas time, because this is another one for you as Santa Jim. Talk about Christmas and that time being special.
Well, Christmas has always been special, but I decided early on, because there were a couple of people, a couple of residents there who did not have strong relationships with family members. So I decided that I was going to try and make Christmas a little bit brighter for them. And once I decided to do that, it quickly became obvious that I needed to treat everybody the same. So I think last year I packed 53 different Christmas bags. Each bag had 12 to 15 items in it. I kind of dress it up a little bit. Morning Pointe makes a little party out of it. And just watching these people and seeing how quite a number of them react to getting a Christmas gift is just unbelievable.
Give us a little bit of a glimpse. You don't have to name specific names, but you mentioned some of the stories, and obviously you mentioned some of the different career paths, engineers, doctors, school teachers. What's been maybe one or two stories that stand out to you as things that they went through in their lives that they shared with you, small moments maybe that really stood out that were special to them? What were a couple of those kind of bonding stories that you still carry with you?
Well, we have a current resident who is 104 years old. And she is very, very sharp. So we become kind of special friends. And over the years, I've gotten called a lot of names, but maybe my favorite is she refers to me as her Brentwood son. So I've talked to her. Her first husband was killed in World War II. He was shot down as a pilot and died, and she lost him. So she started out in Virginia, and she's told me all the stories about growing up in the D.C. area in Virginia, relocating from there to Perry, Georgia. Ultimately coming up here, and she came up here because her youngest daughter was here. Well, sadly, her youngest daughter has now passed away. So she's got a one granddaughter who's particularly her primary family contact. But that granddaughter has a very demanding job and travels a lot. So I step in and I try and help out a little bit. I'll do small things such as she's got a son who lives in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, in my terminology. So I will try and put her on the phone with him at least once a week, sometimes more, so that they can catch up and that they can talk. And I said, now, did you talk with your son while I was gone recently? And she looks at me and she says, well, how could I do that when you weren't here? So, I mean, we just have a great time. I'll ask her if I can bring her anything, and she'll say no. And I'll say, well, wouldn't you like to have some blackberries? Because I know blackberries are her favorite. Oh, my, that would be great. So I try and do little things for her. Right now she loves back rubs. And I'll start rubbing her back, and sometimes she'll actually fall asleep. And when I stop, she'll wake up and she'll look at me and she says, are you done already? So it's just any number of things. I've got what I consider to be a special relationship with a number of them. But one is a school teacher, former school teacher who's up here from Memphis. And she and I play Scrabble a lot. And she is very, very special. She's one that I'll sometimes make a mistake and she'll catch me. And she'll say, now, that's not how to spell that word. The school teacher comes out in her. But over the years, there have been any number of people that have stood out that I felt like I had maybe a more special relationship with than some of the others. But they're all very special to me.
Yeah, and I love that you're such a blessing to them in so many different ways. Carry that into what this award means for you. So when you talk about the Strobel Volunteer Award and what that means to you, what does it mean? What's the significance?
Well, initially, when I wasn't aware that I was being nominated, because I would have absolutely put a stop to it. Because I am not doing this. I'm not looking for recognition. And in my terminology, I'm there to serve. I'm not there to be served. But a friend from church by the name of Sally took it upon herself to nominate me. And she went out to Morning Pointe, and she and the director of life enrichment out there got together, and they put the submission together, and it was already a done deal and submitted before I was aware of it. So I thought to myself, well, there's going to be a lot of nominations, so this will just die, and I won't have to, well, obviously it didn't die. So I groused at her and went back and forth, but I'm very, very honored. I'm very happy that they did. This means an awful lot to me, but frankly, it means an awful lot to the residents out there too.
And I think that's the thing that I see on my end is those who serve, just like you said, they do it for the right reasons. They do it to serve others. They're not looking for a spotlight. They're not looking for any sort of recognition. But the reality is, the world we live in today, we need good news. We need to celebrate those who are doing all the right things for all the right reasons because it encourages others to do so similarly. And so I think that's the kind of stuff on our end from a media perspective, shining a bright light on those who are leading by example and doing all the right things and saying, hey, look at the power, just like we're talking about, of service and what it means to others and how it enriches your own life. And we all need a higher purpose. We all need to be a gift and a blessing to our community to be able to lift our communities. And so carry that into words of advice for others. What would your words of advice be for people to serve with Morning Pointe and to get involved, but just to volunteer and serve in the community in general?
Well, Morning Pointe is a great place, but if not Morning Pointe, find somewhere else where you can make a difference. And I never thought that I could make as much of a difference as I apparently do when I got involved at Morning Pointe. I couldn't imagine my life without doing this right now. It's very, very important to me. It's very, very fulfilling. I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm an older person, so I'm retired. So if you find yourself in a situation similar to me, don't just go play golf or just don't sit down. Go find something that you can do and find somewhere that you can make a difference. And I've had people say to me, well, I wouldn't have any idea how to get started at an assisted living facility. And I'll say, just go on in, introduce yourself to the executive director and tell them that you would like to talk to a few people. And I said, and beware, because once you do, you're going to get sucked in. I said, if conversation is not easy for you, go get a box of candy and take a box of candy and knock on the door and ask if you can share a piece of candy. 99 times out of 100, they're going to say yes. Whether they want the candy or not, they probably don't really want the candy, but they want the interaction with another person. So it's not difficult to do, but once you get started, if you wanted to back out of it, it would be difficult. You would feel a tremendous void in your life, and there would be a tremendous void in the life of the people that you were dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, everything in life is about relationships, and that's exactly what you're talking about. So
Yes.
for those who want to learn more and get involved with Morning Pointe, the website is morningpointe.com, and that's Morning Pointe, POINTE.com. And so then they can search by geographic area and find Morning Pointe of Brentwood. So, Jim, congratulations on the 2025 Strobel Volunteer Awards, the Older Adult Volunteer Award honoree. So thank you for all you do to serve and power the good in the community. Thank you for coming on the show.
Jeremy, thank you so much, and thank you for doing this.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.